is America's Court with Judge Ross.
April Groves is suing her ex, Justin Shaw, in the amount of $9,000. Ms. Groves claims Mr. Shaw promised to repay his half of the rent. Mr. Shaw says the rent money was a gift and he doesn't owe a dime.
Mr. Shaw, the #1 reason why couples don't stay together is because of money. And that's why we're here.
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell me your story, ma'am.
All right. Well, my name's April. This is my ex, Justin.
Yes.
And we met in college. And
How long have you been out of college?
how long have I been out?
Yes. So from the time you all met, how many years ago was that?
7.
All right. Is it fair to say you both are still in your 20s?
Yes, Your
Yes.
Honor.
Okay. You're suing him for $9,000. You feel he should pay you that back because?
Right. Okay, so we moved together. We moved in together
While you were still both in college?
when we started graduate school, yes.
So you met in college, you were dating, but you weren't living together,
Right,
right?
right,
And then you graduate. Do you both start working at that point?
yes.
What were you doing?
I was working for a nonprofit organization.
Okay, and what were you doing, Mr. Shaw?
I was working at a coffee shop, Your Honor.
Okay, so you weren't, this wasn't a long-term.
No, that was a part-time kind of job, and I decided I needed to quit it in order to really, like, get serious into my degree
Well,
for my
already had
graduate school.
Oh, you wanted to go to grad school?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what were you going to grad school for, sir?
Was I going for business?
And did you get your graduate degree?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
And the two of you were living together while he was in school?
Right.
And you
We were both
working
in
with
school.
Oh,
Sorry.
you were also.
We were both in school, yeah.
You were going to get a graduate degree as well.
Right.
Also in business?
No, in psychology.
Okay. And you both are living together to cut down on expenses, I take it.
Right.
Yes.
We were
Okay.
both working part-time, and you know.
Oh, you were only working part-time for
Right.
the nonprofit and you for the coffee house. Well, how are you all paying for everything? Because part-time, where are you
Right.
all from?
We were struggling for,
I would imagine.
for a good 2 years.
Okay.
And,
well, usually graduate school is about
It's 3 years, Your Honor.
3 years.
3 years,
So the two
yeah.
of you were struggling.
So we were struggling, and you know, he was talking about kids and getting married, and I was just like, oh, you know, but
First things first.
right, right. So, anyways, we made an agreement that I got offered this full-time job for the same company that I was working with.
You were working for the nonprofit part-time, and they said, why don't we bring you on full-time?
Right.
Got it.
And, you know, they paid me a good amount, and I thought, hey, you know, we were both struggling with our grades. We were both struggling, you know, financially. So I talked to him a lot, and he told me, you know, that he wasn't too happy with his job. So I said, you know what, if you want, I would agree to, you know, work full-time and take a year off.
Did you say it like that? If you want, comma.
I was offering him that I would take a year off.
Yes.
In
exchange for?
exchange that, and I would stop school for a year because we were both academically struggling.
And was that conversation, as you recall, it happened, sir?
Yeah, it was sort of like that, Your Honor. I mean, it wasn't like an actual.
How was it?
It was, hey, you know, I'm gonna quit. You know, if I quit my job, and if you decide to take on that job full time, then yeah, I mean, I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing. We're gonna be in a relationship together.
After this conversation, did you quit your job at the coffee house?
I did about a week later, Your Honor.
And what was the motivation for you to quit that job?
Well, because I wanted to get better grades.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could have quit the job prior to that conversation.
I
Yes.
could have.
Yes.
I could have.
You could have quit that job because you knew you weren't getting top grades. You knew you were struggling financially. The two of you have this conversation. A week later, you quit your job. Yes?
Yes, Your Honor.
That money was providing income for you that you were also contributing your portion of rent, food, utilities, phone, lights, etc. Correct?
Yes.
Those
Right.
things would not have been paid but for someone being able to compensate for you not contributing to the kitty. Correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And that's why we're here, right?
Right.
It was your turn.
Right.
And?
And he decided he didn't love me anymore, so there we go.
House reflects what?
For only rent, half the rent.
All right. How much was rent?
Rent was $1,500, half of that $750 per person.
All right. And when you were working at the coffee house, were you paying $750?
I was paying $650, Your Honor.
And she was paying
She was
$850?
making more money.
All right.
her
Well, let's
job.
assume for that discussion then. So every month, you contributed $650 over the course of a year.
Well, that was before
Yes.
I quit the job. Yeah.
Okay. So, what is that? That's 650 times then 6,500, another 1,350. That's a good $7,000 of living somewhere for free.
May I?
No, you're doing good. Why shouldn't you pay her back the money for the rent?
Because there was no agreement that I would be, Your Honor. There's nothing that said, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna
Look at me.
pay for your
Look
degree."
at me. Look at me.
Yes, Your
What
Honor.
grown man is able to live rent-free other than a family member, a parent, and they expect nothing in return? She saved you over $7,000, which means she was out of pocket over $7,000. You dropped her, correct? Yes.
I think we kind of had a relationship
Whose
that was
decision was
dying.
it to break up? You dropped her. Yes?
If that's the way you want to put it, Your Honor, then
Well, I'll let her put it the way. What happened?
He came out and he told me, after his graduation,
See, you're being way too nice.
that I am.
If it were me, I would say, you dropped me.
Judge Ross
Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the guy was going to come down in favor of the plaintiff. Because you're going to share some of that wealth. You did have an agreement. Because I believe that he should pay half. Half, right?
Right.
And doesn't that come out to be $9,000?
Yes.
Well, that is her judgment, sir. Pay her forthwith. Case closed.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $9,000.